Here we go. If you have questions, please post them in the chat, and we will take care of those as we go. It looks like, so tonight with us, we have Norm Tiedemann, and it looks like Cheryl Muller's online too. So, so if you do have some questions, just post them in the chat, and we can take care of that. So, all right, let's get started. Hold on, I have a lot of windows open here. All right. So tonight we're going to cover all kinds of things for the state championship. I want to just, why isn't this working? I'm sorry. Do it this way. Hold on, technical difficulties. There we go. So tonight we are going to cover all of the stuff that we'd like you to submit ahead of time. We're going to go over the event format and logistics because it's just a little bit different than qualifiers. We're going to go over the schedule. We're going to go over judging. And new today, our head referees emailed us, and they were thinking it might be a good idea to have a Zoom meeting before the event. So mark your calendars, Sunday, February 6th, 6:30. We're going to have a Zoom meeting. Invite your drive team with the head refs so they can answer questions ahead of time. And what they were thinking is if the kids have some tough questions that need to be posed to the forum, or, you know, if we need to dig in deeper to find the answers to those questions, it'll give the referees time to do that. So mark your calendars for that. That Zoom meeting link is up on the High Tech Kids website right now. So that's where you'll be able to find that. And I'll be sending a reminder right before that, because that is Sunday night. I'll send that reminder the Friday before. All right. So I do want to just start with congratulations for, you know, you've advanced to the state championship, which every year in Minnesota is really quite a feat, because we have, you know, this year we had 168 teams. We feel so fortunate that we were able to have all of our events in person. So if you look at the pictures we have here, last year we did our state championship virtually. This year we're hoping to, you know, what we really want is we want to see, you know, middle schoolers and high schoolers, you know, line dancing. That's what we want to see this year. So we want to get back to that in-person event. But we had 10 qualifiers, we had 12 league meets, and we've got 48 teams advancing. And so we're really, you know, we're pretty proud of that. So thank you for, you know, sticking with it, and, you know, staying with our, you know, COVID guidelines with our mask restrictions and everything, and allowing us to, you know, offer these events in person this year. So really quick, if I could ask everybody to mute. If you're unmuted, please mute so that we don't get the feedback. That would be great. I don't know why my so the first thing I'd like to start off with is that the Minnesota State Championship is a 2-day event. People have been to the championship, understand that. Anyone new, if this is your first year advancing, you might not understand that it is actually a 2-day event. All of the judging, so the judging that you have scheduled, the scheduled judging where your whole team would go in and chat with the judges and have that part of it, that actually happens on Friday. So what's going to happen is Friday, February 11th, the pits will open at 6 o'clock. The first judging session, along with inspection, starts at 6:30. So what I want to be pretty clear about is we really don't want you to come super early. We're not getting into the school until 3 o'clock, and we have to set all this up before you guys arrive. So please don't, show up at 4:30 because we won't be able to let you in, and you're just going to be sitting in an entryway of a school. So, please be there at 6 o'clock. Also be gracious for those teams that have if you have an 8:30 judging, you probably don't need to be there right at 6 o'clock. I'd like to let those kids or those teams that have that 6:30, 7 o'clock judging in first so that they can get into the pits, move in, settle themselves before they gather their robot and make their way to the judging rooms. So Saturday, it's all about robots. So we do all of our matches on Saturday. That's also when the pit judging happens. This is a condensed version of our daily schedule. The complete general schedule is on the state championship webpage. So again, for about the, 12th year, maybe, we are at Washington Technology Magnet School in St. Paul. One thing you need to be aware of, they did some major remodeling during COVID and moved their football field, and there is now less parking. So if you've been to this school, parking is challenging, and it's going to be even more challenging. So it's really, really, really important that you carpool. Really, really important. I can't stress that enough. If you go on Google Earth, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. But definitely need to carpool. All right. I probably don't have to spend a lot of time on this. You guys know we have a mask requirement. We're still going to have that mask requirement. And we're going to have the same rules that we had for qualifiers and for all of our other events. So the judging rooms will be limited to just the volunteers, the team, and like 2 adults. If one of those adults wants to videotape the kids' presentation to show the parents, that's fine. The pits also will be no parents, just the volunteers, the team, and the coaches. Earlier in the season, we had it limited to 2 coaches, but as we kind of move through the season, we realized that quite a few teams actually have more than 2 mentors, and that's fine. But we just want to limit how many people are in those pits. So not parents, not siblings. If your team has 3 coaches, that's fine. Just let us know at check-in, and we will take care of that for you. All right. There are additional vendor requirements, and I just wanted to let you guys know other things that we are doing. So for COVID safety, St. Paul Public Schools has required that their partners, then HTK is a partner. So anybody coming into their school needs to be either vaccinated or show proof of a negative COVID test. This requirement is not, I repeat, is not for you guys. It doesn't apply to competitors or spectators. I just wanted you to know that all of the volunteers, the high ticket staff, the custodial staff, whoever else is there, will be abiding by this rule. That's just a FYI. All right. Are there any questions right now about anything? All right. So I'm going to move on a little bit. The school also, just so you know, just redid their gym floor, their main gym floor. So we are going to put that heavy craft paper down. The carts have to stay in this designated area. We want to make sure that we're not, ruining their gym floor that they just had refinished. We will make that very clear at the in-person drivers meeting, and kids, the field staff during inspection will show the kids where to go. So safety glasses. Safety glasses, as you guys know, must be worn at all times. There's a rule. It's marked here, C15. The biggest infraction of safety glasses that I've always seen is when the kids show up initially. So on Friday night, they're going to show up. If their safety glasses are in the big bins that you guys haul in to the pits, and this bin is in the pits, then the child doesn't have their safety glasses. So make sure that they either have their safety glasses with them, or you're sitting outside the pits handing out safety glasses as your kids come in, because we really want to get them used to wearing their safety glasses as they're walking through that pit door. So, Friday night when they first come in, even Saturday morning, when they come in Saturday morning, they can't go into the pits without safety glasses. So we won't have loaner safety glasses because we're not having spectators. And, with COVID, nobody wants to put somebody else's safety glasses on their face. We will have safety glasses and side shields. We got new shot side shields in that accommodate a larger glass bow on your glasses. So that's great. But we got new safety glasses and side shields in, and we're going to be selling those, and that'll be right at Pit Admin. So if you need them, they're going to be there for you to purchase. All right, miscellaneous stuff. So food. Washington Technology Magnet is going to be doing a little fundraiser for some of their school programs. They will be selling light snacks on Friday evening. They're going to have like a breakfast, lunch, snacks on Saturday. They are going to be sending me a lunch pre-order. He didn't have that ready yet. Hopefully I'm going to get that on the website by early next week. I will send another quick blast out to say it's up. They are asking that they're going to serve the lunch. You're going to get snacks we usually do on that second floor. But the bulk of lunch will be sold in the Great Hall, which is their cafeteria. So if you've ever been to the school, it's long and skinny. So we are on one end, the cafeteria is on the other end. It's a single hall, like you can't get lost, but it's a bit of a walk. But they're asking that all the lunch be eaten out there. And we're still planning to do lunch from 12 to 1. So but it will be down in that Great Hall. So spectators, as I said before, not allowed in the pits or in judging. But very much allowed to watch the robot matches. They can eat lunch with the team in the cafeteria. They can, be in and around the school. And again, with your spectators, carpool, because parking will be challenging. And I can't say that enough. All right, so we have asked you guys to do some team submissions. So for state, we're asking for extra submissions. I'm asking for a team photo. These team photos are used. We do a compilation that's shown periodically during the event. I also use it for the award ceremony. So if your team wins something, I put a picture of your team up. And if I don't have a picture, I use a picture just like this one. So that's what your team looks like if I don't have a picture of you. We're asking for a couple of fun facts. And if you have time, a very short video, because we are planning to do some live streaming, and we'd like to, throw some team videos in there that we can use in between rounds. One thing I forgot to ask teams to do when they submitted their photos was to name their photo with their team number and their team name, or it could just say the team number and just team photo, the words team photo. That's fine. When we download everything out of our out of JotForm, it downloads as one thing. It doesn't download the way you submitted it. So all the photos download together, and we have to kind of sift through them and say, oh, they have their team shirt on. What's that team number? So if you could add your team number to that would be great. I'm going to leave that submission open through the weekend, because we actually have very few teams who have given us any photos or anything. So we'd really like to keep this tradition of adding photos to our award ceremony. So that would be great if you guys could get that done. All right. We are also asking you to submit your judging stuff, just like we did for qualifiers. So do this coming Sunday, Promote and Compass are due this Sunday at midnight. All of these dates are midnight. And then do February 8th is all your judging material. And we're going to Norm's going to go over all the judging stuff in a minute here, but that judging material is your portfolio, the link to your notebook, your feedback request form, and then your control award submission. So keeping in mind, especially for Promote and Compass, the size of it's a pretty big size that we put in there. But also remember, we can't show videos that use copyrighted music. For all these judging submissions, please note that we will not accept late submissions. The JOT form does a timestamp, and we will be looking at that timestamp. All right, are there any questions before I turn it over to Norm? Is there anything in there, Norm?
No, I think that's good. Okay.
All right. Let's and here's Norm. Norm is gonna take over now.
All right. So if you remember from the coaches meetings we had for other qualifiers, they were just basic slides and they just popped up there. This is a Vicky created slideshow, so they fade in and fade around, and there's all that fancy crap. So a little
Actually,
more details.
I forgot to turn it off. Sorry.
A little more details on what goes on with judging. So Friday evening, as Vicky said, we do the preliminary judging. So that's when your interview is done, and it'll be the same format as the qualifiers, a set 5 minutes for them to present, and then question time. Schedule will be posted next week for when you will have your time within that 6:30 to kind of 8:30 time frame. And then Saturday is when the pit judging will be going on, and groups of judges will visit the teams in the pits. They'll be watching matches, doing all that. If possible, please have a representative in your pit at all times. I mean, obviously, if you have 3 people on your team, they're all on the drive team, then they're not going to be there. But try and go back to your pit in between matches. At some of our smaller tournaments, the turnaround was quick enough that people were kind of had a match and then they barely got back to their pit, and then they went to queue up again. And at state, it'll be a little bit longer than that. So we'd like to go back to the pit so that judges have a chance to visit you. This is where they're getting more information for the awards, and they'd really like to get a chance to visit with you. Submissions, that's okay. We can go to the next slide. If I talk too long, Vicky just moves me forward. Submissions, this is the same as during qualifiers. The engineering portfolio, make sure you understand what that is, how that's different than your engineering notebook, what the two are. We want the whole portfolio submitted electronically, and then a link to your notebook. But as always, it would be prudent for you to have a copy of your engineering notebook in the pits, because those pit visits, judges may ask for more details that are in your portfolio. And if you can reference that in your notebook or use it as your own reference, that would be good. This can be paper or electronic, but I wouldn't rely on pulling up your Google Doc at that time. So if you can download it and have it locally there, that's always a good bet. The other things to be submitted are control award form, if you're going to apply for the control award, and the request for judging feedback. And that's all on the JOT form, exactly like it was for qualifiers. Okay, the other thing going on Friday evening, this is when robots have their robot and field inspections. And again, this will be part of the schedule that comes out next week. You'll alternate through judging and then this robot inspection and a practice round on the fields there at state. And as always, inspectors are really trying to get you to qualifiers or to the matches. They really want you to be able to compete. They're looking for safety hazards and anything that may actually cause you to fail, or anything that might be a little questionable in that. A lot of the things we've seen recently had to do with software. So the field inspections, Make sure your software is up to date and is aligned.
Plus
Having
ginger.
to download software and do that, that night before your inspections is not a good plan for a reliable robot. And I've heard there was an issue with 7.1. If you download 7.1 of the controller, but not the other part of it, it doesn't work. So make sure you have the updated software and everything's working before you get there. There is also an inspection pre-check that is in the inspection manuals, and you should really go through that to make sure that all your stuff, that you believe all your stuff is up to date. It will make the inspections go a lot quicker. The one thing about Friday evening that's really on a schedule is the judging sessions. So if you have to go to re-inspection, or for some reason you arrive without a lot of time, go to your judging session and then come back for inspections and practice round later. Just at qualifiers, the inspection stations will be open. You can kind of queue up there and get your stuff done as you go through. But judging really has to be done on that schedule so we can get through all the teams. We'll have 48 teams there, so that's 8 sets of judges doing 6 teams each. That really has to happen in the time frame it is. All right. As always, we will that morning have a driver meeting with the referees. They'll explain how queuing is going to work, the event flow, all that stuff, go over rule updates, have a chance to ask questions. But we'd like to get a lot of the questions you might have done out of the way, or at least asked ahead of time. So that's why this pre-event drivers meeting is going on the 6th. That will give you a chance to ask our head officials questions you have or get rule clarifications. And if there's something that they can't answer, hopefully there'll be a chance to get it onto the forum and get that resolved before the tournament. So plan on, if you have any issues or you don't have any issues and you just want to hear what's going on, plan on joining that Zoom meeting on February 6th. And then of course the normal drive meeting Saturday morning. Qualification matches will go on Saturday morning. We basically start with an opening ceremonies, and then we start running matches. And the schedule is to get all the qualification matches done before lunchtime. We then take a lunch break, and after lunch we start alliance selection. And the way we do that is there's 2 divisions of 24 teams each. We've named them Nano and Galaxy. They'll be competing on opposite sides of the field. There was one question that came up during qualifiers about the fields we use, and at state, each division, so Nano and Galaxy, will have 1 Andy Mark field and 1 Vex field. So you will be competing on both Andy Mark and Vex. If for some reason your robot doesn't like one of those, well, that can be an issue then. You will be competing on both. Teams will compete within their divisions throughout most of the day. And right after lunch, we'll have alliance selection within the division. So Nano will have an alliance selection, and the top 4, well, there'll be 4 alliances selected out of Nano and 4 alliances selected out of Galaxy. And those will then compete to get a divisional winner. And then the divisional winners will compete for the state alliance championship. And that should end our day, and we'll have the award ceremony, and everyone will go home and collapse. Just to make sure that's set. So really, you will know whether you're in the Nano or Galaxy division. We'll divide up the teams into those 2 divisions, and you will compete there in a 24-team tournament, just like qualifiers. Alliance selection will be exactly like qualifiers. We'll do it in the same way. First team will go down the line, and they will play out to a Nano and Galaxy winner. At that point, then those 2 alliances will come and compete in what will be the state championship finals for the state alliance championship. The divisions are only used for the gameplay. Judging is, of course, conducted across all 48 teams. We're judging all 48 teams in effect in one group. The judges will create their finalist lists and all that out of that group of 48. They don't have anything to do with divisions. Oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna say, I think that's about it, but we're planning on streaming the entire day there. So we'll have matches that are streamed. We'll be doing opening ceremonies, hopefully the Alliance selection and maybe some other things going on during breaks or during lunch. We'll be showing some of these video compilations that we put together. Trying to take some of the good things we learned out of last year with videos and add them into this year as well. So if people want to see the tournament during the day, it will be live streamed on our Twitch channel. Advancement. So there is only one first world championship this year. Normally, well, in the past few years, there have been two, and we've been allotted more slots. But this year it's one. And so each FTC program partner has been allotted 2 slots. So we have 2 slots. And according to the order of advancement, that goes to the Inspire winner and the winning Alliance captain. If that happens to be the same team, then we'll go down another. But that is who will advance out of Minnesota. Additionally, the Minnesota Inspire winner is awarded a $1,000 scholarship. Salesforce Corporation and LazyBots, a team from a couple of years ago, put together a scholarship for a number of years, and they have been awarding a $1,000 scholarship to help the winning Inspire winner pay for some of their expenses at Worlds. Now, there is a possibility that some of these program delivery partners will not send teams for some reason. They don't want to gather together in Houston. They're unable to travel. Who knows what, because a lot of these program delivery partners are also international. In which case, first we'll allot the other spots to other partners. So it is possible, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it is possible that we could get a third allotted spot at World Championship, which we should know early in March. So if you happen to just barely not make it, think about that, and we'll discuss that more, as that gets closer or anything like that. First World Championship, end of April in Houston, and hopefully we'll have our teams there and compete well. That's really what we have tonight. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat or feel free to unmute yourself and ask directly. Vicki and I are here to hopefully clear up anything you might have.
And we are going to be posting this PowerPoint and this recording on the website. So Michael's asking if the pit sizes are 10 by 10. Yes, Michael, they are. All the pits will be 10 by 10. And each will be providing a table and 2 chairs. Anybody else?
Okay. Well,
Wow.
I'm glad this is clear. Again, thank you very much for coming to this, for being a coach all season long. If we already submitted our team photo and video without our team number, do you want us to resubmit? No, that's fine. We will.
No, we probably are. We figured it out. Jeannie was sifting through them today and just asked me to mention that for anyone who hadn't submitted yet.
Yes. Do we need to bring chairs? Well, Vicki said there will be 2 chairs there. If your team wants chairs, yes, but remember, it all kind of has to fit in that 10 by 10 spot. 7.0 okay, or do they want 7.1? Yes, 7.0 0 is fine. That's it is allowed. The issue occurred because some team had downloaded 7.1, but only part of 7.1, and so it was incompatible.
Wow, we were really thorough. All right, well, go ahead, Norm.
No, I was just going to say Thank you very much, and we'll see you all in person in a couple of weeks.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.